Today we are going to talk about IELTS, and this is a very simple induction for those who aspire to secure 7 or above bands. Okay, it is very important to secure 7 or above bands if you are thinking to apply to the UK or the English speaking universities for your studies. Listen very carefully, and I will try to explain everything um, in nice and easy way so that you understand the structure of the test and um, what is it all about, and how to make up your mind to take this test and come out successful. So let us move on and have a look at the structure of the course. Now I have put together these 10 lectures, as you can see on your screen, so that I take you step by step to understand uh, everything about the test that you need to understand or that you require to understand. So the first one is today's lecture, which is induction. It is a brief introduction about IELTS, what it is, about the bands structure, and about the difference between academic and general training IELTS. The second lecture would be IELTS listening. It would be a brief introduction. And the third one would be IELTS reading, again brief introduction. And then in reading, there are different types of questions, and the most common types that students make mistakes in is the multiple choice questions, which is MCQs, and sentence completion. I wouldn't say that everybody makes mistakes, but these are the ones where some students find difficulty. And while I've been teaching IELTS, I found out that this has been a problem area for some of the students. So I mean, based on my own personal experience, I have created a presentation, and I'm sure that you will find it very, very useful to complete these two types of tasks, MCQs and sentence completion. There are some tricks and tips that you will definitely enjoy. Lecture 7 is about IELTS writing. Once again, it's a brief introduction, and then IELTS writing involves two types of tasks. One is task 1 and one is task 2. Both academic and general have task 1 and 2. So the task 1 is letter writing and report writing in these modules, which you will find out later on in our course. And the task 2 is essay writing. So I have created separate presentations or videos on that letter writing task and essay writing task, and I'm sure that you will definitely find it very, very useful. The next one is IELTS speaking, which is a brief introduction, and then I have done this video, IELTS speaking, detailed guidance, which will definitely take you through all these stages. So whenever you watch a video, you will see one lecture highlighted, which means that we are doing that one. For example, if lecture 5 is highlighted, so it means that we have done all 4 before that. So I would suggest you strongly to watch all these videos so that you have a clear picture of this test. Okay. So first of all, what is IELTS? IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System, which tests English proficiency around the world. It is the world's most popular English testing system, and it is accepted almost by every university, and it is offered in more than 140 countries of this world. So if you have, I mean, sometimes my students, my viewers ask me that we are doing this thing, we are doing that thing, we are applying in this organization, or we are applying for this type of visa, so what tests should we do? So I mean, there are different tests, but obviously IELTS is one of those tests which is accepted almost everywhere. So That's why it is a very important test, and that's why it is very important to be fully prepared before you take the test. It is interesting, but at the same time it is challenging. It is an international test and internationally focused in its content. So what does international test mean? It means that tests and tasks are sourced from publications from all over the English speaking countries. You will have different types of tasks in your test, and these tasks are based on a text, okay, and this text could be from magazines, from newspapers, from research publications. So I mean, obviously this is the type of English which is not easy, so that's why you need to make yourself comfortable with this type of text samples. I will talk about that in detail. A range of native speaker accents, for example, North American, Australian, New Zealand, British, are used in the listening test. Now, most people are familiar with British and North American accents, but sometimes you will see that the listening material comes from Australia and New Zealand, so they are a bit different. So, well, with gradual practice and more and more practice, you will definitely become familiar with these different types of accents. And it is very important because when you are doing listening, it is very important to listen carefully and answer the questions. If you can't understand what the speaker is speaking, then obviously there are chances that you will make mistakes, and mistakes are not good in IELTS, and obviously it can affect your bands. All standard varieties of English are accepted in test takers' written and spoken responses. The most listening materials come from England and Australia, as this test was originally created by the British Council, IELTS Australia, and Cambridge University. When you are doing the test, remember that don't worry about your accent, don't worry about your variety of English that you speak. As long as you speak good English, as long as you can convey your message, you are okay, no problem at all. So the level of the test is IELTS assesses English language skills across a wide range of levels. For example, there's no pass or fail in IELTS, and results are reported as band scores on a scale from 0, the lowest, to the 9, the highest. No fails does not mean that when you do IELTS you will definitely get admission to a university based on that. I mean, I can tell you about the UK. Most universities in the UK require 6.5 and above bands, okay, because the competition is now very, very tough. So you have to aim for 7.5, 8, and I mean, as the quote goes, that you always aim for the moon, and if you fall, you will fall among the stars. Okay, so if your target is 6.5, fine, you can get it. But what if there are mistakes? Then obviously you will be struggling. So always aim high, aim for 8 and 9, and then if everything goes well, you will achieve that. Otherwise, if you fall, you will fall among the stars. So then somewhere 6.5 and 7 is a possibility. So be careful about that. Check before you apply to a university if you are doing IELTS for academic purposes or studying. I hope you understand that. Next slide. So the test format is that there are two different types of IELTS. One is IELTS academic and one is IELTS general training. IELTS academic is for those wishing to study at undergraduate or postgraduate levels, and for those seeking professional registration. For example, you want to study a course at a UK university as an undergraduate or as a postgraduate student. you must fulfill the requirements. There are many other requirements, but one of the requirements is to fulfill the language requirements. So you apply to a university, you check the requirement, and they say that 6.5 or 7 band, so you must achieve that. If you achieve that, then that requirement is fulfilled. And if you want a professional registration, for example, pharmacists are required to have at least 7 band in all 4 modules to practice their medicine and all that stuff. So that type of area also covered by IELTS. What is general training? IELTS general training is for those wishing to migrate to and work in an English-speaking country, for example, these countries, and for those who wish to train or study at below degree level. So IELTS general is comparatively easier. So it is for those people who want to migrate to different countries. For example, you want to migrate to Australia. There is a point system, and one of the requirement is language. If you have done IELTS, you get a certain points, and at the same time there is a band that is required by the immigration authorities. So you must check that what band is required in case you apply for migration. So there are some differences between academic and general training IELTS. But before that, I would explain what is the structure of the test. This is for both academic and general training. The listening, reading, and writing tests are completed on the same day. The order in which these tests are taken may vary. For example, some centers can do reading first, some can writing first, and some can do listening first. So it doesn't matter. The thing is that all 3 are taken on the same day. But without any breaks between the 3 tests. So you will have no breaks between these tests. The speaking test may vary, may be taken up to 7 days before or after the 3 tests. So for example, if you take these 3 tests today, you can do speaking 7 days before today or 7 days after today's date. Okay, so that is very important to understand. Okay, here is the difference between academic and general tests. The listening and the speaking modules are same for both academic and general. The difference is here. Okay, 2 modules are different. Academic reading and general training reading is different. Academic writing and general training writing, they are different. Okay, so simple. Listening and speaking are same for both. Reading and writing are different for both. Very simple. 2 modules same, 2 modules different. The total test time is 2 hours and 45 minutes for both academic and general training modules. It is enough time, I tell you, to do everything nice and clean. When you are practicing, I would definitely suggest you to time yourself, whether you are doing a writing activity or speaking activity or practicing your reading skills. So try always to time yourself, because once you do practice, it would be very easy for you to manage on the day of the actual test. Okay, so that is the end of this induction. I hope you understand. So this was just a brief introduction, nothing more, nothing to learn, particularly from the perspective of skills. Wait for the next lecture and we will dig into the details. All right, thanks and good luck. All the best. See you next time. Bye.